Hey, how's it going? Josh here from Books by Josh, and this is episode number 71 of the Books by Josh audio immersion. This episode is titled, What Causes Innovation? Question mark. So, let's get started. I believe there's three things that cause innovation. Competition, monopolies, and a need. Let's begin. Why would competition cause innovation? Well, if you don't have competition, you become stagnant. I remember in school, I had a rival, and that made me want to become better. Whether it was academically, physically, with weightlifting, running, things like that, competition made me improve myself. And let's take a look back to many years ago, to the olden times of 2007. One man stood up and said, on stage, he was introducing a new revolutionary device, the iPhone. But Josh, you just said competition creates innovation. The iPhone itself was innovative. It was not because of competition. Yes, but hear me out. What happened after 2007? I don't know if you guys remember all the mundane iPhone clones that came out after it. There was no phone like the iPhone up to that point. Smartphones weren't for everyone. They were mostly for business people. So Blackberries had trackballs, keypads, no touchscreen at the time. That didn't come to a storm. Then you had Palm that had touchscreen but had stylus. And it wasn't as innovative as the iPhone. There was no Android. You had Windows Mobile. Wait, let's take a step back. There was no Android. So, how did Android come to be? Well, I'm not going to go into the story of that, but Android came into creation and it's still around today because of competition with the iPhone. The iPhone created a new marketplace. It was new competition. Apple entered as a device manufacturer. So brands such as HTC had to innovate. Samsung basically had flip phones and feature phones. No smartphones other than like the Blackjack, which ran Windows Mobile. So guess what? Phones started getting better to compete with the iPhone. Back then when the iPhone came out, either you had an iPhone or you didn't. Whereas now, you have a Samsung or an iPhone, or a Pixel or OnePlus. But the whole thing is Android or iPhone. Everyone that didn't innovate is gone. There's no more Windows Mobile. There's no more Symbian OS for Nokia. There's no more Palm. Rest in peace, Palm. So, all the manufacturers had to innovate and adapt to meet the needs that the iPhone brought out of in us. We didn't know we needed a video player on our phone, but now we had it. So let's stop talking about the iPhone for now. We might come back to it. Let's talk about cars. What about cars, Josh? Well, just like the iPhone, there was a disruptor in the car space. Not Mercedes, not Audi, not BMW. Who was it? It was a small car company called Tesla. Wait, Tesla, what? Hear me out. So, the original shakeup in the car industry was the hybrid car, such as the Prius. But it wasn't that big of a deal. People didn't really care about it unless they cared about the environment, But Tesla kind of made it cool to care about the environment. And it did things that other cars couldn't do. What do I mean by that? Well, Tesla is a fully electric car, if you didn't know that. And the thing about a fully electric car is there's no gas. Sounds like a simple idea. Well, it is, but other than saving money on gas by doing electric, you do get some tax breaks. But the reason I'm bringing up for the competition portion of this is because Tesla did things that other cars couldn't do because it is fast. A Tesla can go 0 to 60 seconds faster than Ferraris and Lamborghinis. You heard me right. Teslas move. These electric cars move. Each of the wheels has its own motor that's powered. And guess what? These cars companies noticed that. So they start building hybrid cars with electricity built in and work on their fully electric prototypes like BMW i8. And it's because of Tesla making this car. Sure, there's been electric cars before it, but Tesla came out to the mainstream, Elon Musk, and what he did was shake up the whole car industry just like the iPhone. Tesla is the iPhone of cars because we didn't know we wanted self-driving cars. Sure, we had cruise control, but that's just cruise control, you know? Just maintain your speed. You can't follow the curve of the road. No, you still gotta be there. Tesla, technically you have to have a finger on the steering wheel, but it's drives itself. You can call it, come out the parking space, things like that. It's cool, but it is an innovation, and that's the thing. We need that now, especially with the way everything is in the world, greenhouse gases, fossil fuels. I'm not going to go over that. That's a whole different ball game than what I'm trying to go over here. But thing is, it's changing the way we view cars. And you have Chevy Bolts, things like that. People have chargers and built-in 220 plugs to charge their electric cars in their home. It might not have the same mileage as a traditional car. And those miles can change based on AC and things like that. And gas is better for long distance. And you can fuel up in a few minutes, whereas you have to wait a couple hours if you don't have a turbocharger or a supercharger, whatever it's called. But Tesla shook it up and caused these other car companies to innovate again. That's seen with the BMW i8, the Chevy Volt. I'm not going over to that. But let's talk about the biggest competitor in the world. Amazon. Yes, Amazon. Amazon, we know, changed the way people shop. But guess what? They changed the Titan. They challenged the Titan and made the Titan change its ways. Who's this Titan? Well, Walmart. Walmart now offers a marketplace like Amazon. What is a marketplace? Well, I don't know if you know this, but Amazon doesn't only sell stuff from their warehouses. Well, they only sell stuff from their warehouses, but not only things that they procure, that they have contracts to sell, things like that. They allow anyone to sell on their platform through Amazon Marketplace. So I can go and sell my own products on there, but mostly it's people that purchase items for wholesale and resell them. They buy it through means such as Alibaba or other wholesale markets from China, things like that, and they sell it through Amazon. It's FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, and you send it into the warehouse. It's a whole big thing, but it allows third-party sellers a new marketplace to sell on. Instead of having their own site hosting it, driving their own traffic, they do it through Amazon. Then they can focus most of their efforts on Facebook ads, referral links, Instagram influencers to promote their product on advertising technically. And they see Amazon.com/whatever, which is a big deal rather than saying booksbyjosh.com/blah blah blah, you know? You see Amazon, you're like, oh wow, it's legit. So Walmart started doing that. And then Walmart started doing something else. Free delivery on orders over a certain dollar amount. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Unless you have Prime the whole time. But Amazon, I remember how Amazon you bought a certain amount and it's free delivery back in the day. I don't know if it's still the same thing. I have Prime now. But the whole thing is they made Walmart focus on its online business. Sure, Walmart had normal online, but now Walmart has Walmart groceries. You can schedule it and then pick it up at the store. It's like Amazon, fresh that they bring it to you, but Walmart you go there pick up. I don't have a Walmart close by to me because I'm in New York City. This one's Long Island, but I know you can pick it up. I don't know if they can deliver it to you, but the whole thing is they forced them to change their way. Walmart's been in the game for a long time since Sam Walton created it, but Amazon, the new kid on the block, a normal bookstore, calls Walmart to change this game. But now let's talk about something called Monopolies. I'm not talking about Mr. Monopoly, right? But I'm talking about actual monopolies. So let's take a look at cell phones again. Yay! But not the iPhone this time. What do we have a monopoly in cell phones? Back in the day, there was many major carriers. We had AT&T, Singular, Nextel, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint. And Singular. 7 mobile carriers. These were all postpaid carriers. Then AT&T acquired Singular. They merged. Sprint acquired Nextel. Then there was 4 carriers. And it was like this for a long time. AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon. Then Sprint just merged with T-Mobile. T-Mobile acquired them. So that's 3 carriers. AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. But what if you don't want to pay big carrier prices? What happens? Well, innovation happens and the rise of prepaids. Not your traditional prepaids though. What's a traditional prepaid, Josh? Well, traditional prepaid, something like Boost Mobile, Virgin Mobile back in the day, Metro PCS, Verizon Pay As You Go, AT&T Go Phone, things like that. Whereas you go to a store, you get the SIM card, and you load up in the store. Then you can set up automatic payment, things like that. And the key emphasis here is store. Why am I saying store multiple times? Well, there's online-only prepaid carriers. What do I mean by online-only prepaid carriers? Well, you have Mint Mobile, which I love, which I don't have though. I love it for many reasons. Because it allows you to have low-cost internet, low-cost cell phone with unlimited internet or tiered internet at a low price because you buy in months in advance. So you buy a year up front, you get a discount, things like that. And you can technically get unlimited internet calls, unlimited 5G, 4G, phone calls, texts, everything unlimited and some hotspot for $35 a month. $35 a month, you do have to bring your own phone. That's Mint Mobile. And the owner, majority stakeholder owner, and front man for it, face of the business is Ryan Reynolds, my spirit animal. So, you also have Ting, which is a pay for what you need brand, which has pay for however many minutes you use, however many texts, and how much data you need. And that might not sound super important to you because you might be like myself and who love unlimited everything. But some people I know don't use talk voice at all or text. They use WhatsApp, Viber, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Signal, those type of messaging app. They don't count towards your text. I had friends that did that back in 2011 with Vanessa's phone, and they just needed data. So that's the thing. And they use Google Voice for calls. So these new carriers, prepaid carriers, allow you to save money on your service because they use the same towers the big carriers use. They don't have priority on the towers because they don't own the towers, but they have roaming agreements with the towers that allow them to use them. Prime example, you have Mint that uses T-Mobile network, Then you have Visible that uses Verizon's network. Then you have Cricket Wireless that uses AT&T's network. But the main thing here, I don't want to talk about Cricket because they have stores, but with companies such as Mint Mobile and Ting, they have no in-store. They have no stores. You don't go in to pick up a SIM card, no, nothing like that. You get a SIM card mailed to you, then everything's through chat mostly. I don't know if they have a phone service to call in, but everything's done through the chat. So it's not for everyone. Some people love going to the store and setting things up, and I've worked in the store and I've helped people and I understand that. But other people, such as myself, I prefer to set things up on my own because I'm very hands-on. So for me, a company like Mint Mobile would be a great idea if it offered what I needed, which is a whole different story. But I have friends that switched to it and love it, and they're saving money because they had postpaid and they were paying $80 for unlimited for the same service, whereas they're paying $35 now. That's a $50 savings. Oh, but Josh, they can't go international with it, blah blah blah. Listen, those are different scenarios. For that, if you're using one of these carriers, you have an unlocked phone. So let's go on to a different monopoly. If you follow me and listen to Tech with Josh with a K, TEK with Josh, you would know I just talked about Starlink and T-Mobile Home Internet. Those spawned because of monopolies. What do I mean? Well, there's monopolies in cable and internet. So there's certain companies that have non-compete agreements with certain buildings and townships and neighborhoods that they're the only provider that can offer cable services and internet services in the home through cable. So what does that mean? Well, that means company A can offer you high-speed internet and cable TV here and phone service, and company B can only offer you DSL, which people make fun of digital slow line because it's slow internet. It's 1 to 3 megabits, and they can't offer you TV, so you have to get satellite TV. So I'm going to touch on that next, but let me stick with the home internet. So the internet, guys, what happens? You pay the bill if you want internet. But you have a phone. Yeah, Josh, you just said you can use Mint Mobile. You know, the money they save on not having storefronts and having workers in the store help you out, things like that, and do everything through chat. They saved all that money to save you money. Why can't you use your hotspot? Well, you can, except it's capped. Josh, well, I have unlimited. How's it capped? Well, your hotspot might be unlimited at 2G speeds, which is about 128 kilobits per second, which is twice as fast as dial-up. But the thing is, your high speed has a limit. Even on my plan, I'm on an AT&T business account with the highest they have, the unlimited elite plus whatever. My cap is 100 gigabytes of high-speed internet hotspot per line. So you see what I'm getting here. 100 gigs is a lot, but uploading a YouTube video, that's like 3 gigs, just one video. So you're going to tear through that fast. And this is with the highest plan. If you have that plan with like one line, look at about $180. So what do? If you can't do that, you can go Starbucks, get free Wi-Fi, McDonald's. But other than that, you're stuck. So these two companies, and like Verizon's doing it now too with 5G, but it's not the same thing because it's not the same price point and to the same amount of people. So T-Mobile's doing it in normal areas right now, like city. When I say normal, I mean big city. Sorry. So you get a gateway, which is a router that converts the cellular. So it's basically a hotspot into Wi-Fi, but it's a bigger one. Can hold more devices, and it allows you to use 5G for your internet. And it's as low as it's one price point, $50 a month, all in. So in these towns and cities that have non-compete agreements, guess what? Now you can have high-speed internet at a fraction of the cost, all in. Now, Starlink, though, is doing a different route. It's more expensive than the T-Mobile at $99 a month. There's upfront cost of $500, but the whole thing is it's not meant for the same customer base. There's people in America that don't have access to high-speed internet because of their location, because we can't reach them. And traditional satellite internet, like HughesNet, only gives 2 to 3 megabits of bandwidth, and it has data caps. So Elon Musk, just like Tesla, he's like, I'm going to shake up the internet world. I'm going to provide internet to the rural areas. And guess what? That's what he's doing. You set up the satellite, you get internet. Bada bing, bada boom. You want more information on that and T-Mobile home internet? Check out Tech with Josh, episode 3. But now let's talk about TV. TV, not television, but cable. TV streaming. People need to innovate, and the monopoly on TV caused this. Nobody watches cable anymore in my generation, especially. I'm 32 almost, and I have cable. I don't use it. I just have it because it was cheaper for my bundle, and I have all the channels with my cable card, but I don't turn on the box unless I have nothing to do. But that's the whole thing. People stream everything. And because of the monopoly on cable, like I said, in these townships and cities, only one provider or satellite, DirecTV, Dish Network. But guess what? You have to put satellite on your property. Some people don't like putting it on their roof, and some people live in an apartment, so they can't have the satellite. So streaming became a thing. Streaming became a thing. Well, you could stream TV. You can have no TV cable box, but you can have cable packages through YouTube TV, Fubo TV, Sling TV. Heck, you don't even need a cable subscription. You can just get all these little subscription services: Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu, Netflix, Prime Video, Discovery Plus, AMC Plus. I didn't even know AMC Plus exists until today. So many things because the monopoly. Why pay extraordinary amounts of money to watch TV? Pick and choose what you want to watch and just pay for it. Stream it. No longer pay for a cable box or pay extra for DVR. DVR is included with most of these cable packages like Fubo and YouTube TV, with more hours of recording time than traditional cable. And you could take it with you wherever. I know cable companies, like with Verizon, I have them. I can view some channels when I'm outside my home Wi-Fi. But if I'm on my home Wi-Fi, I get access to all my channels. But that's the thing. With YouTube TV or Fubo TV, wherever you go, you have access to everything, your DVR and everything. So streaming has become a thing because of the monopoly in cable. But now, the third thing and reason why people innovate is because of a need. What do I mean a need? iPhone. Let's go back to the iPhone. We started with the iPhone. We're not going to end with the iPhone, but I want to touch on that. Like I said, we didn't know we needed to watch videos on our phones. We didn't know we needed apps. But Steve Jobs saw a need for an internet communication device. That's what he called it, an internet communication device, a phone. He brought everything together, but the way we communicate with the internet on our phone was horrible back then. This is before 3G. Things were slow, right? Phones didn't really have Wi-Fi. Palm phones especially didn't have Wi-Fi. Or Blackberries until like the 88 series or 81 series, the Pro. But there was no Wi-Fi in phones. Cameras were crappy on the original iPhone, but he saw a need that nobody knew about yet. That wasn't answered, and he answered it. He created the innovative system on how you use your finger to control the phone, play music, things like that. He gave you a media player in your pocket that can make phone calls. Yeah, without the need for chips like SD cards, internal flash memory. So now, let's talk about Uber. Uber started as a way to lower the cost of transportation because the founders spent like $500 on a trip for car service. They're like, yo, it has to be a better way. And they're like, wait, there isn't. And that's what happened. They said, let's create it. Airbnb. The founders were in town for a convention. They're like, man, we can't get a room. Why is there so limited hotel space? Why is it always like this? Think about trying to go to Comic-Con and try to get a hotel. If there was no Airbnb, you might be sleeping in the train station if you're in New York. It's that bad if it's everything's booked up. So Airbnb allows you to book rooms from people renting out their room as an Airbnb. It's great, right? But it only happened because of a need. Like this podcast now. I just need a way to talk, and so I have podcasts. But seriously, you need innovation. Without innovation, we stagnate. Think about if we were just happy and there was no competition, no need, or anything with the original cell phone. That big Motorola phone with like 30 minutes talk time. You can't Snapchat, you can't Instagram on that. You can't even YouTube. You can't even store numbers. It is a phone. Not an internet communication device. Not a media player. It's a phone. Computers were meant for data processing and technically crunching numbers. It's a big calculator that reads binary. But guess what? Without computers, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now. Without computers, a lot of our jobs wouldn't be here right now because we needed innovation. If you take a computer from 10 years ago, it's 2011, it can't do what we can do now. A phone from 2011 can't do what we can do now. Sure, 2011 phones were great. 2011 was the iPhone 4S. You had FaceTime, but no 4G on the iPhone. And the cameras have advanced. Things need to advance. And the only way for innovation is through these three things: competition, monopolies, and a need. So remember, guys, innovation is key. And if you want to innovate, just find a reason to fill one of those bubbles. Make up some sort of competition to blame it on, a monopoly or need. But just make it happen. See ya.